Alrighty, welcome back. It's your man Wise. So, I'm a glutton for punishment. This lady right here, she upset me and I had to stop the video, but the response was so great, man. So I felt like, hey, let's come back to it. Let's keep this thing going. We'll see if we can get through the remainder of the video. Maybe we'll make this a 3-part series. I don't know. Shout out to JT Young. The link to the original video will be in the description box. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
We were just getting started, and the results were pretty mixed. Voters were pretty much split. However, President Donald Trump was falling a little behind to Vice President Kamala Harris. And then this happened. The question of the year, Trump or Harris?
Huh?
Trump or Harris? Who we got, Trump or Harris?
Harris. I mean, if I have to choose, Harris.
Trump or Harris?
Harris.
You Trump or Harris?
Harris.
Harris?
Yeah.
Why?
No.
You don't know?
No.
You gonna vote?
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, there was a lot of people in the last video asking where they're located right now. If I'm not mistaken, this is North Carolina, and I believe it's Durham, North Carolina, to be exact.
Vote for Harris.
No.
What's more important to you? What's important to you in America? Are you voting?
Oh, no.
No. Trump or Harris?
Harris.
Trump or Harris?
Harris.
Why?
I've had too much of Trump. I'm tired of seeing him.
The question of the year, Trump or Harris?
Harris.
Why?
You know that.
I don't like Trump.
Why?
Why? It's anybody but Trump also. Kamala's good.
So never Trump?
Never Trump.
Why?
Because we need her. That's it. That's all I got to say about that.
I've come to the conclusion that Democrat voters are some of the most ill-informed or uninformed voters out there. They should be embarrassed. If they go back and watch this video, I don't know if any of them will see this or actually see JT's original video. I don't know if they'll see this, but they're some of the most uninformed voters out there. If you're supporting Kamala Harris solely because you don't like Trump, that is a very, very lazy answer. And two, you are extremely misinformed. It's just so unfortunate, man.
I think Trump's a terrible person. I think that he pushes fascist beliefs and he's really dangerous for this country.
Why?
I feel like it's somewhat self-explanatory. You know, you got a lot of things out there. Probably 2025. You got folks who are kind of like not necessarily ethical characters all the way.
No matter what morals involve, what policies involve, you're straight Democratic.
Yes.
Interesting. How about you?
Well, I would vote Trump, not because I love him as a person, but because my conscience wants me to vote that way. And we love each other very much.
And y'all are a couple.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just showing her love.
Okay.
Yes, he's
Very good friend.
He knew what I'd say.
I knew what she would say. She knew what I would say.
It's actually wonderful to see that, though. Don't you guys think? It's so rare that you could see people from different sides of the aisle that can actually hang out with each other, because typically a lot of these liberals, man, they have real vitriol for those of us that are Republicans, conservatives, and especially those of us that support President Donald Trump.
And we just, we keep it real.
And we're about to start our vacation, and
Yeah.
I swore I wasn't going to talk politics.
I was too. I was going to say no politics this vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, are y'all on vacation right now?
We're
Starting today.
Well, welcome. Where y'all from?
Ask us some more hard questions.
Okay, more hard questions. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the assassination attempt?
Well, the fact that it happened at all is bad because he survived, which means that it's a rallying cry. He becomes.
Well, but if he died, it would have been another rallying cry.
Yeah, it would have been an even stronger
either way,
rallying cry.
No good outcome there.
I think it's going to be tough for Trump to lose now.
So you think that actually helped him?
Oh, 100%. You see, one leader can barely walk and talk, and the other one getting shot at, standing up like, bring it on. I mean, he's going to get voted for. Like,
how did that make you feel personally, since you're not supporting him?
Man, I don't know.
Did it inspire you?
I wouldn't say inspiration is the right thing.
What did you feel? If you can describe it in
It
words.
still makes you feel like he would stand up for the country better, just because, regardless of his thoughts and views on stuff, the fact that you can get shot at and
And it was like he was not even scared, you know what I mean?
I would not put it past the fact that his team staged it themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not saying they did. I have no factual evidence to that, but I would not be surprised if he did to get the press that he was getting. And
So wouldn't it be hard?
Be damned.
Wouldn't it be hard to stage a graze of the ear, or you think he didn't even get shot?
I think he got hit by the glass from the teleprompter.
I think they really messed up. I don't know how they didn't see him up there.
So you think the CIA or the Secret Service messed up?
I think they did. There was no drones sent out from what we've been told, you know. But an attempt on presidents, whether it's Democrat or Republican, I think it's horrible.
Big failure on somebody's part, correct?
Yes.
Absolutely. Do we want a more productive person in office? Sure, but like taking his life, but what does that do? Or even attempting to? And it's like, it's all those like conspiracy theories. Like, was it planned? Was it like orchestrated to like kind of solidify like the Republican Party, like all the Secret Service people kind of like knowing that they saw the dude who was like, you know, who they saw him, but they didn't do anything. But then once he did take shots, that they took him out really quickly. So there's a bunch of those kind of conspiracy theory. All that stuff, man, that's a whole bunch of distraction right there. I mean, because like it takes you away from like what matters. What matters, you know what I mean? Like what is his policy? Like what is he trying to say? Like what are his talking points? Like how he now gonna go up against Kamala? It kind of takes away from like what really matters.
So what's your thoughts on the recent assassination attempt?
Crazies, really.
Lone shooter, or was it a bigger conspiracy?
Lone shooter. And I don't even think that he was actually going for the president. I think he was just trying to do a mass shooting and be famous.
Luckily hit the ear?
Yeah, I mean, because there were a number of other people shot. Mm-hmm. So it sounded and felt more like a mass shooting to me rather than assassination attempt for Trump himself.
I mean, I'm sorry it happened. I don't wish that on anybody, but that's about all I have to say on it.
Okay. I believe that it was a legitimate attempt. I do not believe that he staged it. How do you stage a bullet graze? For some reason, you know, he evaded something that was out of his control. I believe that we've been so full of conspiracy theories, lies, and delusions and propaganda that we are having a hard time now discerning reality from fiction. But that was reality. I do believe that perhaps it may have been a conspiracy on the other side, not on Trump's side, but on the Democratic side, to get him down, because it is puzzling how the Secret Service could overlook such a real threat and let him get that close to killing Trump. So I believe if there's any legitimacy, that it's not Trump staging it, but perhaps another hostile agency, maybe the Democrats, who tried to stage the assassination. That's my view.
You think it was staged?
Wow. That might be the first sane and coherent thing that brother said in this entire video.
I mean, it could have been staged. But honestly, the man,
The guy, you just had a bullet fly by your head, and he is taking a moment to
then he's
fist pump
pumping
the
his
fucking crowd.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
how is that?
And
you know?
So yeah, I don't know. I don't care anymore. I mean, it sucks. You know, it really does suck. But I the only thing I can do is vote. And
yes, right.
I have stopped watching the news because it's just like feeding, like just my brain, like it.
But I can understand, you know, not watching mainstream media. I get it, because all they're going to do is pump you with propaganda. I get it. But I do think that if you are going to be a voter in this country, you should be an informed voter. Take some time, do a little reading, do a little digging, get off of TikTok, get off of these dances or whatever it is that you watch, so, you know, reality, you know, TV shows and all this other foolishness that you may watch, and just take your time and do a little research and your own due diligence, and then come, you know, up with conclusion of who you should vote for and who would be best for this country. So many people say, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not listening to it. I'm not watching anything. I'm not going to do any research, but I don't like Trump and I'm voting for Kamala Harris, and they don't even know why.
I think that there's no place for violence in democracy, and
I wish JT would have corrected them and just let them know, like, hey, we don't live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. I wish he would have corrected him, but this video is phenomenal. So I don't want to critique, and criticize too much, especially when you're out there, on the spot interviewing folks. And sometimes you just miss things. And I'm sure when he went back and watched this, he probably, maybe hit himself, kicked himself a little bit and was like, man, I wish I'd have asked this question or asked that question. So
I guess that's all I have to say about that.
Do you think it was a lone shooter or a bigger conspiracy?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I should give that a Google.
I mean, I hate that it happened, but I'm glad he's alive. Don't want anybody to die. But that's kind of it, honestly.
We need change. We need to dismantle what is. I mean, America was a criminal enterprise from the beginning, a criminal enterprise. It came into this country, slaughtered, maimed, killed, raped, stole, did everything. So this country started out as a criminal enterprise.
You think we're still there to this day?
But unfortunately now, capitalism is like out of control because millionaires and trillionaires control everything. Everything.
You suggest socialism?
I don't suggest social. I suggest that we need a new system.
What's the new system, ma'am?
That's equal to everybody. Black, white, Hispanic, everybody. Why are we just looking at the Mexican border? People are flying in from other countries. They're not at the airport stopping them. They go through customs, they get in the country, they're fortunate that they don't have to cross over a border and go through the water and all that kind of stuff. People are coming here by the thousands every day. And they're still here.
So do you think, given the recent border crisis, do you think the Democrats will implement some type of law to allow those illegal immigrants to vote?
Oh, they're trying. They've been doing that from day one. It's the only reason why Kamala Harris didn't go to the border one time, because she knew not thousands, millions of people coming over the border. Like 11, but probably closer to 20, all over the place, the Canadian border, the Mexican border, people being flown all over the country on our tax dollars. It's crazy. If they get into a debate, Trump is going to rip her apart.
I feel like both parties treat immigration as it's this thing where if we solve it, then we don't get to use this for the next 100 years as a policy. Yes, because otherwise there have been times when each party had control of House, Senate, and the presidency, and they didn't fix it. Why? It seems like there's something at play, like they want it to be an issue for a long, long time.
I mean, it's got to be controlled in some kind of way, but again, America is the land where, it's a big melting pot. So we got to be allowing people in all the time, but it does have to be controlled in some kind of way.
At some point, it could get dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He said something there because he's right. I know President Obama, when he first got in the office, they had the White House, they had the House and the Senate. They could have literally did anything. They could have passed anything to include reparations. They could have put a full-fledged stop at the border. They could have done anything. And they chose not to solve the problem. So I actually do agree with him. And there's been a few times in history where both parties had everything. They had the House, the Senate, and the White House. And they did not put a plan together to stifle illegal immigration. And that's a great answer. And, we as the American people should be asking why. Why is that the case? Why haven't they come up with a game plan to shut this thing down and force people to come over here legally? Could it be that we do need a certain amount of illegal immigrants coming through that can, quote unquote, work under the table, for some of these companies to help keep wages down or to help keep the cost of goods down? Could that be the case? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Thought on the recent border crisis?
I don't actually think I've been educated about that as much. I haven't done enough reading on it to comment on exactly what's going on right now, honestly.
Well, pretty much the last 4 years, the borders have been wide open, and anybody who wanted to come as far as terrorists has been coming in. Do you think that's a threat to America?
No, my understanding is that that's not exactly quite right.
Definitely.
But I don't know, I can't comment.
You don't have a thought. What's your thought on Trump convictions?
You mean him being a felon, that whole thing? I think it's crazy that you can run for president still. I don't know how that's possible.
People people need to get into the Constitution. People need to get into the Bill of Rights. What's really crazy is that you have American citizens that don't understand the laws and the bylaws of this nation, which is really sad.
So given the fact that you can be the president of the United States and a convicted felon, do you think a convicted felon should be able to vote?
Yes. If the president's allowed to run and be a felon, you should be able to vote.
And what policies are more important to you that you say Harris?
I think she's more open-minded, more liberal. She, I think, cares about more society. I don't know. I don't like how Trump spreads a lot of lies and.
No policy. We want to hear policy, sir.
I don't know. I like the attitude he brings to the nation, and how he's contradicting, where we're going as a nation.
What policies mean the most to me? Immigration, the economy. Those are the two big ones right there.
So what's your thoughts on the border crisis?
It's horribly run right now, and they need to fix it, and Trump had it under control when he was in office.
What policy means the most to you?
Most conservatives are pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the policies that President Trump wants to implement. They're pretty knowledgeable. It's so unfortunate that you have most people that vote Democrat. They're so misinformed, man, or just uninformed. I won't even say misinformed. Some of it is, being misinformed because mainstream media, they just push a bunch of propaganda down these folks' throats. But most of them are just uninformed. Check this lady out right here.
That she's proposing, I'd be very happy if she protected our reproductive justice and health care for
abortion rights.
Abortion rights is part of it, but it's more than just about abortion. Women's access to health care looks very different than men's access. Like a lot of women are walking around out here in constant pain from endometriosis or PCOS, and we're not getting the same attention that we need on those issues. And it's really not for everybody's attention so much as it is like our bodily autonomy is in jeopardy when you have the kind of policies that Trump's proposed.
While some voters had their mind made up on which candidate they're voting for, and we also came across individuals who don't support either candidate, some that's undecided, and some who just wasn't comfortable sharing their opinion publicly.
You know what? We're going to stop the video right there. I got to do a part 3 of this. We're going to finish this video out, man. We're going to stop it right there. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I'm looking forward to hearing the comments from you guys. It's just so crazy to me, man. At least that one lady did have some answers. Typically the only policy that, Kamala is running on is, the pregnancy termination. That's it. Now, the fact that that lady said that there is a difference between male healthcare and female healthcare, I completely disagree with that. Our healthcare system isn't the greatest, and it hasn't been, honestly, since Obamacare was implemented, or the quote-unquote Affordable Care Act, which made healthcare cost go up tremendously. But you know what? I can sympathize with her and say at least she brought up, hey, women's reproductive rights, although it's not reproduction when you actually terminate the pregnancy. But what do I know? I'm just a dude talking ish on the internet. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. Consider joining the ARP family, man. It supports me, the team, the channel. It gives us the ability to do what we do on a day-to-day basis. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. And I'm going to catch up with you all next time. Peace.